July. Yeah, I haven't mowed out in the front or anywhere in the because it's been too rainy.
Yeah.
And also just too hot. I'm not up for that right now.
I was thinking that this weekend. I was like, man, gonna have to go another week at least without trimming those plants and hedges and grass, and it's getting crazy.
Supposed to rain the rest
That looks fucking cool though.
of the week.
Mm-hmm.
What is? Yeah.
But what is all this shit around us?
Well, remember we were surrounded by sand people.
It was travel single file, older numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Last point's too accurate. Just have the same. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Something. Anyway. Alright. Well, if everybody's ready.
No.
Huh?
Probably everybody would do. Oh,
Seems as if we're outnumbered.
Probably. Play your way out. Play your way out. Oh, right.
Are you okay?
Tired.
Mm-hmm.
We for 4th of July weekend we went over to Tybee Island.
Mm.
And it
Oh
was
man.
really freaking hot.
We're crowded?
It was fairly crowded. We went down to the beach. Like we went at night because it was cool
Mm-hmm.
and there was hardly
That's
anybody and it was nice and calm.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice. But during the day it was like 100 degrees and there were just thousands of people.
No.
So we did not spend a lot of time out there.
Was that your first time there?
Yeah, I've never been to Tybee Island.
I like their pier. It's pretty cool. It's got a pier.
Yeah, we went out there and checked that out. That was cool. There was some good places to eat. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to go to the beach.
Yeah.
We hadn't been to the beach in a long while. Alright. Okay. Is everybody ready then?
Mm-hmm.
So, when we last left off, there is my notes. The party trying to get their way down to the southern part of the continent to the city of Tsarm in the middle of the Hobgoblin Iron Authority Empire was set upon by strange flying balls of flesh with mouths that attacked specifically the magical crystals keeping the ship afloat. Falling down, 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 down. Most of you managed to get flying. Gundar landing on the ground with a thud, taking quite a bit of damage. Die. The Commodore, commander of the ship, lay bleeding on the ground before Gundar walked over and revived him. Let's see. As we pick up the story then, with Gundar on the ground, the buzzing noises from the creatures are fading as they retreat into the stony hills around. Remember, there is no vegetation in this part of the world. It is utterly desolate. And you just hear odd echoes amongst the rocks and wind. Splinters of the Diana are spread out around you. Most of the ship is half broken in half midway, leaning over on some rocks. The majority, except for the Commodore of the crew, lay in pieces about you. Blood splattered around. But the Commodore, even though bruised and bloody, is now conscious on the ground in front of Gundar. You hear a shift of stones, and as all of you look around, there are 40 some odd figures in desert colored robes and cloaks, their faces hidden with scarves. You seem to be standing or squatting or sitting still in a rough circle about you, like all a good 20, 30 feet off. You didn't see them at first. All of them seem to carry either, it looks like some type of staff or spear or something like that. Some of them leaning on it like this, supporting themselves, squatting down. All their eyes watching you.
So not attacking.
No, they are watching and they have surrounded you. Now, 4 of you currently have fly still on you. As you're thinking, as you're seeing this, as you're thinking about what you're gonna do, you hear a kind of a shifting of wood, and out of some of the wreckage, the metal child stands up and kind of looks around.
He doesn't like it.
Oh yeah, he does have a bit. Okay. What would you like to do? Would you like to know more about the figures around you? Would you like to try to kill them all?
So,
Gundar and Roland are strangely silent.
the figures around us, similar to the miniatures here, do they appear to be like different races, sizes? I mean,
You can't tell right
their
off,
features are like covered.
just in the few seconds that you've seen them, their features are covered, like their nose, their eyes. Their eyes are above the, and they are. Make a perception check just to see. There's blowing sand and stuff here, and you can make out the basic shapes and things. Let's see what you can actually see.
10.
The 10. Well, that's you. Looking, they're not too far away. You can tell basically, I use these all as placeholders.
Yeah,
They're all about the same
Yeah.
range of height, between 6 to 7 feet tall. You try to look at their eyes and find that when you try to focus in, it's like your own eyes and your own gaze just keeps sliding off to the side every time you try to get a look at their eyes. You can't even get a sense of the color of the skin around the eyes.
Happened before. No, that thing, we forgot about it. Sweet. Why was that?
Something. Yeah, the thing that messed with our brain minds.
This is different than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you remember that feeling of the false Hydra, that like you were just suddenly missing parts of your memory, and it was very unsettling. This, as you're looking, is very obviously like a magical effect. You can almost feel your eyeballs kind of vibrate as they kind of dart up to the side every time you try to focus in.
It's like those magic eye posters
Should have.
that everybody says there's a picture in, but there's really
They're
not,
lying.
and you
I-
can never see
I've
it.
never seen one of those freaking.
I just recently figured it out.
Everybody was always like,
amazing.
just
and I
don't
was
focus your
like,
eyes. Like,
I always loved them when I was a kid, like
Never
when they
did.
first became popular or whatever. And Kristen had never been able to see it, and I had like an old book of postcards, like that were all
Yeah.
magic eye postcards. And so we sat down one day, and she finally.
Well, no, a Star Trek one on the internet is the first one I saw.
Yeah. And I thought it was pretty
And then I couldn't
interesting.
figure it out.
I thought it was
You
pretty
can't do it, I promise. Even old people.
I'll try.
to get it after.
You're
so
not
many
too
years.
old to learn how to do it.
I think my sister had a dolphin one, and she was always like, "It's so easy," and I was.
You gotta put your nose on, like, you gotta put your nose there and then slowly back away. That's how you do it. That's how.
It is pretty amazing though when
Yeah.
you get them.
It is.
Anyway.
Okay, so like that.
So yeah, you try to focus in. You can't see. But like I said, they're in sand-colored robes. Like it's still, even knowing where they are, like they blend in really well. But there
Okay.
is something magical covering their faces.
I'm
basically.
gonna yell, come in peace. Let us pass. Pretty please.
Alright. Let's see, which one?
I just want to yell, a schooner is a sailboat.
Which one? Any of them look like they might be the leader?
I should mention that because as Crom is saying this, one of them kind of steps forward a little bit closer to you. And you actually, strangely, are closest to this figure.
Got a suggestion.
Oh dear.
Okay.
The attack save, wisdom 16.
They haven't attacked yet.
Yeah.
Don't they get hostile if they know that you did it?
Probably.
So they weren't hostile yet.
I mean, you don't
And
know.
now they will.
They haven't done anything yet.
I'm not gonna say go fuck yourself. Okay.
As you go to start to speak the incantation, you see the figure that stepped forward. It is a staff that he's carrying, and as you start to vocalize the incantation, they go like this. And purple light flares from what looks like a crystal that you hadn't noticed in the top of it. And you feel the magic unravel as you do. At the same time, you see several other staffs around the circle around you do the same thing. The four of you, including Roland, who were still kind of floating a little bit in the air, suddenly just drop, like, and stumble for a second before catching air. They dispel all the magic that you have been using.
Even our items.
No, your items, as far as you know. But they dispel any ongoing magical effects that are happening. And the same purple flash happens on each of
So what
these
you're
staff.
saying is,
Oh, that's
it
good.
wastes the spell slot.
I mean, that's not as bad as it used to be when you were warlock. But the figure that stepped forward, you hear a voice say, "You are either very brave, very foolish, to attempt a crossing in the face of the stone thrips." Gestures to the few retreating flying creatures that are still retreating away. They're very sensitive to the arcane energies. And he, same hand points down to a shard of the broomstone that used to keep the ship aloft that's now shattered on the ground.
That's the one.
Well, no, those two things aren't mutually exclusive. Brave and foolish.
As you're saying that Gundar kind of whips around with his axe because I'm gonna play him and this is exactly what he would do, and charges at that.
Somebody stop him.
At the leader figure.
He's not with us. I yell. He's not with us.
As he does, the figure once again, just really quickly grabs at something at his waist, and you see a jar there, and he kind of holds it up, and it flares with a little bit of energy, and you see this dome, the sand being whipped around. You see a dome created, and it suddenly around Gundar, and he just kind of like off the side of plexiglass.
Like a dome around just Gundar?
Well,
Or is it?
let's see. He had gotten, so it's about 10 feet in diameter. He would have gotten a few feet, so it goes up around Gundar and Lysander. But Gundar, as he races past you, off the side of this dome of energy.
Any kind of save for this?
Just
You recognize it though, I'm gonna say. I don't know if you, I don't think you have this, but you've seen it cast before as a wall of force, which Gundar also recognizes having had it cast on him before.
no, he hates those things.
Um,
Boiled.
the figure that spoke to you
Let's put it in
initially
here.
says, "Please do not resist. We mean you no harm."
Okay.
Um,
Very agreeable.
we don't have much of a choice. He has
We're gonna need help or mercy.
Okay. Would anybody like to convince Gundar to be okay with it? Just roll a persuasion check.
Since I'm in there.
I would say
You're
you're
in there
in
with
there with him, so.
And as you see Lysander start to talk to Gundar, you can only hear like muffled from within.
Yeah, like silently arguing.
What is my persuasion? Pretty good.
Yeah, I would
It's
appreciate
pretty
it.
good.
I mean, you're a bard. It should be fuck. What's your modifier?
+9. 13.
Okay, 13.
Oh, actually, it's I rolled a 19 because persuasion or deception, anything below a 9 is counted as that one skill.
Okay. So yeah, you he. Say.
I'm like, maybe chill out. We're outnumbered.
And as he's just breathing in rage, he just kind of puts it out away his axe.
You ain't all that in a bag of chips. Let's listen to this.
As he crosses his arm in his wide stance, you feel the air around you, the sand and wind come back in suddenly as the dome disappears.
Fresh air.
You see all the people around kind of start to shift, and some of them start to move off into one of the like ravine canyons, like slot canyons in a cliff wall nearby. And the leader, who you're thinking is the leader anyway, once again speaks and says, "Come, follow us to safety."
All right, let's.
Yeah.
They come,
is
a
there
couple of them
anything-
come forward and help up the Commodore.
Do we need to grab anything from the
Dead
ship?
ones?
Is there anything salvageable?
You could, if you want to try to, you
Grab a pistol.
I think this shards is all drained up and
But, yeah.
broken.
I mean,
I don't know if they're usable now.
I'd make an Arcana check.
I'll pick up a box.
Very cute.
So I guess I'll ask this to you, but ask this to him.
Mhm.
So am I to understand that those creatures kind of were drawn into the magic, like, is it magic?
He kind of turns and looks at you and says, "Actually, they are. They feed off of certain arcane energies. They live in this area because it is, well, you will see." And he kind of goes silent again and kind of walks up towards the front of what's now a line kind of forming. Did you want to? What was your Arcana?
I got a 27 Arcana check
And
to
if you
see
wanna
if there's anything.
Investigate to see if there's anything else that is useful around.
If I would
They're not
know.
taking any of our crap, right?
They don't seem to be worried at all about taking anything. They're just getting you all kind of in the group.
What kind of roll would it be?
Investigation. You had a 27.
1. A 2, and then -1.
You find a lot of broken wood. You find several pieces of some of the crew that you had kind of half gotten to know in the last day and a half.
I think
Jimmy.
Larry.
Oh.
It's
Larry's
Doug.
Beamer.
Danny's Beamer. Still a little bit of quad connected to it. With the 27 Arcana, you would know that Broomstone, I mean, even if it's shattered, it'd still be recharged and used. Smaller pieces can only levitate smaller things, but it might be usable.
Small things.
If you want to try to grab a few pieces.
Yeah, I'll grab some, whatever is feasible. A couple of nice sized chunks.
Yeah, you grab on your because they're kind of ushering you towards this canyon mouth, so you don't have a lot of time. But you grab, I'm gonna say, 3 pieces, roughly fist-sized, like grapefruit, almost grapefruit sized. Um, the yeah,
Yeah, what are they called?
broomstone, BRUM stone. It is fairly rare stuff, as nobody quite knows exactly where to find it naturally. It can generally only be found in areas where um, ancient flying cities crashed in another age. They knew where to find it, but in any case, the whole group of you is now moving off towards the cleft ravine in the nearby cliff wall. As you go in a couple 100 yards, you find that it branches, and the group you're with takes you on the left branch. And then about another 100 meters, and it branches again, and then they take a right. And this goes on for a while. Anybody would like to?
I'm gonna write down those directions so I don't get lost.
Okay.
Don't you have like navigation
I'm just
skills?
saying it so he knows that it happened.
Yeah, I'm just
So I'm not going to describe
Okay.
all the directions,
Yes.
but I'll say that you can remember. Make a survival check at advantage. I'll say, because this is the desert, but it's also the mountains. You grew up.
If I know that it's going to be a while,
It's
16.
yeah, you can remember.
I'm going to start, jamming like usual.
Okay.
Switching it up, kind of see if I see one, see what they like. Feel them out.
Make a performance check.
Judge them by their musical taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
What was that?
No.
The 820.
9.
9 plus you have pretty high.
still.
Yeah.
Plus 13.
Do it.
22.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yes, I made
Yeah,
extra
I
cheese in my
forgot to
first.
do it.
Oh shit! I rolled higher on persuasion as well. Oh well.
Okay. I mean, you still succeeded both
Oops,
times.
I didn't mean to do that.
You
Perception.
you go through a couple different genres and kind of feel. You end up. The best reaction you get and the most looks you get kind of from the group around you is when you start playing this kind of sad, long, sad epic ballad years ago of a burning city and somebody lamenting it, and you seem to get this kind of emotional reaction out of some of them as they look towards you and start kind of humming along with you almost as they learn the chorus. Yeah, they seem like a very somber people, whoever they are. It's still hard because every time you try to look them in the eye, your eyes still slip off to the side. You have no idea what these people actually look like. Really. Other than that, as you're close to them, they all seem to be between 6 and 7 feet, 200, 230 pounds, and dressed in these robes and cloaks of this sand color. As you're playing this song, actually, at one point, one of them turns to you and says, "Shh." You realize you're coming into this slightly larger dry valley. About 100 meters across the valley, as you come into it, it's like this long valley, and you're coming out on one end. And it goes out kind of in a couple different directions, and it's much wider than all the ravines you've been going through. You see there's like a cliff overhang. Looks like it might be some caves up underneath of it. And you hear, even from this distance, this scrabbling of rock and sand, and you see you all see, as you hear this, 2 or 3 several large-scale tails kind of disappearing up into the darkness under the overhang. the leader, who has been kind of staying near you, the group of you as you've been marching along silently, says, "Sandworms, be silent."
Sandworms?
Sandworms, yes.
Sandworms?
And you catch from the inflection that it's definitely YRM, not ORM. And looking over to that side, you can see where they disappeared. Outside of that overhang cave area, you see several, it looks like rib cages of like dead animals, like large dead animals, just kind of strewed about, like little. Yeah, like big enough that you could walk. That Crom could walk underneath these rib cages,
Oh,
like whatever it is. Could everybody make a stealth check?
oh.
Oh, of course not. Group. 20, 19.
20 modified.
20 modified.
Got an 8.
16.
8. Like a couple of you stumble along the way, but with the group around you who are experts at this, like at one point you hear this long, low, reverberating growl, even hundreds of feet across this valley. You hear it kind of echoing throughout the overhang and the whatever cave is up in there, but nothing comes out. You exit this valley back into more ravines, more turns, 2 more hours of this as it really starts to grind on. But eventually, you come near. You come around a turn, and immediately you start to. A couple of you smell something you hadn't smelled at all in the last day or so. That's moisture. And you come around another turn and you smell more of it, and you see something that you really hadn't expected to see. And that is a tree.
What?
Yeah. I know, right? They got trees. Strange trees. As you come around this corner, they look like almost like good-sized redwoods, but with this fern-like foliage that spreads out in this canopy. And as you look beyond the first few, down at this slope, you see a huge canyon opening up in front of you. Let's see. This valley opening up with a broad floor, probably half a mile across, miles long. These trees all around the edges, the barren mountains rising above.
Is there grass and stuff too, or just the
Yeah,
trees?
there's these
fertile?
trees. There's different. There's underbrush. There's a small trickling stream that kind of runs down the rock next to you as you come out of this ravine. But what catches your eye the most is a canyon that opens up in the middle of the valley floor in front of you as you look down the slope. It's still a good quarter mile off from where it starts, but it's this deep canyon, hundreds of feet deep, and it runs almost the entire valley in kind of this crooked, like, crack in the valley. The bottom and the sides are covered in huge, glowing purple crystals.
What?
And every few seconds, a pulse of light and vibration runs from one end of the canyon to the other, as you see the crystals light up, and a few seconds later, going the other way.
Like the superpower crystal? Is that the purple one, or is that the one that was powering our ship?
The ones that are powering your ship, brimstone, are
Oh,
kind of
that's-
this bluish,
Bluish.
like light bluish color.
This probably
So
looks
this-
like the thing in their staffs.
Oh.
These look like the things in their staffs. Make a, I mean, you can make a, I mean, because
Yeah.
make a history check, just to get, see if you remember. Anybody here
My
can do it. if you
history
want.
not too good.
I can do
That's fine. 6.
I can do history
And
at
crystals are crystals to you.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
I can do history at advantage for
Okay.
a magical object.
They're definitely magical, whatever they're light for a reason.
Oh, that's a definite. So that would be a 20.
The 20, I mean, as you see this canyon opening up at the valley floor, it does, like, it clicks with the staves, the giant crystal chunk that you had found from the Blue Dragon,
Yeah.
the cave in the Underdark that you had originally found the Blue Dragon in.
It like superpowers.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was like a big piece of amethyst looking.
yeah, it clicked.
Right.
And you're like, oh my. This valley with this amount of crystal could, you're not sure what created this or whatever the heck it is, but it's. You also remember the psychic damage that you took using that thing.
Yep.
But as you're distracted by this, the rest of you notice a village in front of you through the trees as the slope levels off below you. Goes up right to the edge, kind of in a rough, wide circle around it with a wedge taken out of it where the canyon point begins. This magical canyon. And at the center of the village, where that point begins, a large timber structure stands. These huge carved logs support a round cone of a roof with totems of different creatures standing in spaces between the log supports. But you're brought down through this village. As you see some people kind of off to the sides on these little streets. You guess that it might be a big enough village for about 500 people. So it's every time you try to look at a face, that peeks around a corner, the same thing happens. You are not able to. It just slips off your gaze.
Face blindness.
Is there anything anybody would like to do as you're kind of coming into the village here, or look out for?
I want to ask them, why can't I look at your face?
Okay. The leader who's still with you in the large group that's around you, still in their robes with their faces covered, says, "All will be explained soon. But first."
Okay. Dinner? First
He
dinner?
points to the large log structure that you're obviously heading towards now, in the middle of the big village.
Save your questions for the end of the tour.
And as eventually you come up to it, most of the people, the 40 some odd scouts or whatever these were that were following you, kind of start to disperse, and the leader gestures to follow, and he walks into this building.
Well, who's going in first?
Well, I mean, he
Yeah.
told us to follow him.
Yeah.
I'll go in.
Okay. I'm gonna assume everybody else does. Like, the Commodore limping along with you is also fairly sound this whole time, but leans into, as you're going into the rest of you and says, "This is mighty interesting, don't you think?"
Definitely.
Very.
The metal child just kind of trailing behind, just kind of looking around. But you see inside as you come under this large archway, and when I say it's made of, supported by these huge carved logs. You see that as you get close, there's arcane runes that are carved into the logs themselves, and they look ancient. Each one is about 20 feet tall, supporting this conical roof that rises a good another 10 feet above it. As you come in, you see a large open room with concentric circles, like semicircles, of simple wooden stool seats, all looking down onto a platform directly in front of the beginning of the magical chasm that comes right up into this building.
Mm.
You see, sitting in some of the seats, kind of gather around towards the front rows, about 10 or 11 people. As you count, you realize it's 11. And then there's the one leading you, would make 12. All sitting looking in more comfortable robes than the scouts that you had been with. And as you come down and kind of standing in this kind of open area amongst the seats and in front of this area, they all put their hands up to their faces. And as they do, they seem to almost pull something away, and your inability to see their faces suddenly dissipates, and you can see their faces. Yes, so you do get to see what they look like.
What do I think about their face?
You see, for the most part, except for one, you see faces that are gold-skinned, like not shiny or metallic necessarily, but definitely this golden, a deep golden color. All of them have black hair of varying lengths, even some with little bit of gray in it. All of them stand over 6 feet and have very slightly pointed ears. It seems like a lot of them have purple irises to their eyes, the ones you can see right now anyway. One of the group is very obviously a hobgoblin, with its smooth bald head, orange skin, very strangely entirely black irises. Your original speaker, who is now taking off his hood and scarf, is also gold-skinned. Long black hair brought back into a single ponytail and back. Purple eyes. His nose has a bit like of a Roman kind of bridge to it. And he speaks and says, "My name is Vitelio Moore. I am chieftain here of the Unconsumed. Welcome to the refuge."
Thank you for that.
We shall see.
Oh.
And as he says this, his eyes kind of flicker over, especially to Gundar, but
He's not with
all of you he's looking at. Says, "What brings you through the wastes of the Black Oaks?"
Trying to get past.
Yeah, we're just passing through, really, sort of flyover country.
Interesting. And why do you bring a follower of fate, as he looks over at
Gundar?
into the midst here?
It's
I'll take responsibility.
Sure.
it's a like an
It's complicated.
we share a common enemy.
What is this enemy? You can see, like, as you're kind of hemming and hawing, he's
Yellow King.
a Yellow King.
So
I've heard
Very
of
yellow.
such things.
we also don't know, like, it's the Yellow King has.
I don't know.
Too late now.
And nobody told me not to sing.
I mean,
Um,
just going with the flow here. It's up to you.
What
it's
I do.
it's a threat against this whole land, a spreading cult that threatens to
Kill all the gods ever.
destroy everything.
As you say, kill all the gods ever, and you say, destroy everything. he kind of, one corner of his mouth goes up and says, destroyed everything. It's happened before. We have survived. It's concerning. It's for killing all the gods.
Serious.
Does not seem to really care about the gods.
That just means it's powerful.
As he's been doing this, you've been trying to, in your head, figure out what kind of person this is. You've never seen, well, some of you probably never seen this.
I've never seen
If anybody would like to make it'll have to be a history check.
it's a book
And I think
guy.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I
You
got
can
good
if you want.
history.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
If you wonder.
It just unless we're all rolling, like just so happenstance, I knew something about it. I heard,
Well, I mean, it could be that you're.
Oh,
I would say anybody who thinks their character would wonder, like, it's up to you though.
I got a 16 history.
Okay, that's high enough.
this
For a
reminds me
little
though that
What?
bit. The movie was good.
Heard a review, but I hadn't seen it.
I'm waiting to watch all of the movies at once.
Oh,
They're almost at 30. You know, that's right.
Really?
Yeah, that's a lot.
of the MCU.
Yeah,
I'm working my way through Lord of the Rings, so
plus the shows. Yeah.
I'm catching up on culture from the last 30
from the last
years.
30 years.
I
We
started-
watched Lost Boys.
I started
and
out
I was
with
like,
the Lost Boys.
I never
Yeah,
saw
like,
it.
I was like,
I
you
never
gotta
saw
see it.
Lost
Like you're gonna, there's all
It was
these,
pretty
all these references.
sorry. I'm sorry.
It's good.
I distracted.
age of non-sparkle.
I mean, they did have glitter in their blood. The blood on set, they put glitter in it as a special effect. Make it shine more, look more real. It just made it sparkly. I could tell.
In any case, with 16,
It was
you you have heard of something like this from a long time ago. What grips the memory is seeing the hobgoblin in the midst and seeing some similarities in their physiology. And you suddenly think, these are extinct. These people are extinct. I don't know, what are they doing here?
He did say that they survived like a
They're
time when
like-
everything was destroyed.
Yeah, they're like a hidden culture.
Everybody else was consumed.
You know from some basic histories you've read that the goblinoids were not always so. They were twisted by Bane and went through a curse. So these are basically proto-goblins
Oh.
or proto-hobgoblins. They were known as the Draenasar, the gathered people. And that's basically all you remember. But you gather just from what he said so far that they're definitely not fans of Bane.
Understandable.
But as you're thinking this, he's kind of looking out over all of you and says, "These are the elders of here. Try to find those that have been corrupted by Bane." Again, his eyes go right over to Gundar, and it says,
Oh, you can have him.
and undo the curse of strife on them.
Oh.
Oh,
You saying this in front of Gundar?
you have to be willing to do it. Oh my god.
None
You have
are.
to want to know.
None are until they are. And Gundar looks very angry about these just.
If I'm anywhere near Gundar, I'm moving away so that I don't get another
Right.
force field.
Okay. With that, he kind of looks over at the rest of you though and says, "Truly though, you are trying to keep a destruction from happening."
Yeah. Yeah. If we can.
Let me come closer. Let me look at you.
To all of us?
He just kind of gestures to all of you. And one by one, he kind of goes forward and just gets way too close in your personal space and just looks like directly into your eyes, like, and holds eye contact for a good, like, 5 or 6 seconds.
Uncomfortable.
Which is way longer than you think it is.
Yeah.
How do each of you react to that?
Have a little smile.
Right, that's how you react. Okay.
I'm going to. I'll
As
like.
you start purring.
I'm gonna stand still, but of course, just like sort of lean back.
On your heels.
Yeah, but just stand there like I'm not backing up,
Okay.
and just I'll probably be holding my breath, just out of like, I'm just gonna let, just let him do
Nice
and
big movements.
some movements. Yeah.
I'm just gonna puff up and be like, what? I can take a little staring at. You don't
Okay.
scare me.
Just kind of rolling. I know will just kind of give a forced smile. Gundar, you can see his muscles kind of move as he doesn't want to, but you realize after a moment that he's being held in place and with probably a hold person spell, so he's paralyzed. And you can see sweat kind of trickle down. As it takes a good minute or so. Vitellia Moore goes back up kind of to the center of the room again, starts addressing you again, says, "You all may stay for as long as you wish here." His eyes kind of flicker back over the counter. He says, "Yes, strangely.
Okay.
Please know that we do not trouble with the worship of any gods. None are worshipped here, as they abandoned us to our fate."
Okay.
Right on.
That's cool with us.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
He looks over at Gundar and says, "You, though, follow a path of pain and destruction, will not bring you the control you seek." And then he looks over at you, Chum.
Yeah, I got
And
things
says,
to
"And
discuss.
you, running from what haunts you, seeking out any help of any old deity out there to
Just
rid you of your curse.
Uh-huh.
Why be beholden to any of them? The tools you need to resolve your issue are there. You just need to make the choice to face her."
Are you saying like the answer has been inside of me all along, or like are you saying there's tools here that can help me?
He just kind of pats you on the cheek, smiles, and walks away.
Arrangements. And a read.
As
Encouraging,
with
I
that,
guess.
the elders kind of stand up and start talking amongst each other, and it becomes apparent that this meeting is over.
Okay.
And you are just kind of left to. And as he's walking out, he says, kind of over his shoulder, "A place to sleep will be provided, but please, no disturbances."
Can we use those purple glowy things down there?
The ley crystals. No.
Yeah. No, we can't touch those? What if we need them?
They are very dangerous to. The larger the crystal, the more. Do you know of such things?
We do.
Then you know they are dangerous.
Yep. I mean, and those down in the crevice are like huge, right?
I mean, some of them look like they were probably the size of a large house. Yeah.
Whoa.
So you're basically asking,
Like,
can we borrow these hydrogen bombs?
They're-
We gotta figure out how
Some
to
of them
get-
down there were obviously like still living crystal, like it's
Growing
coming
out of the.
It's growing directly out of the earth.
So like this is where they.
And he says, "Do you know what?"
I would love to know more about them. We only found some, and a long time ago. We don't have any clue as to where they come from, or
I mean, they are. Are you familiar with the concept of ley lines?
yes.
Yes.
Have you ever thought about what do the ley lines run between? Well,
I mean,
I can tell you,
never really paid much attention.
they run between focuses. A ley focus. Well, the ley lines may move, much like energy may move from one pole to another. And as he says this, he pulls up two fingers, and it looks like what almost looks like electrical, like lightning energy, starts to arc between them. And then he brings out another finger, and it transfers to another finger. Much like this, from pole to pole, ley focuses are the places where ley lines will always come together.
This place
This place.
is a focus or a node of these ley lines.
This is, as you say, a node of some of the ley lines, several of the ley lines of Exandria.
And these ley crystals grow along the ley lines or at the focuses.
They are the focus.
Yep. Okay.
This specific one is exposed, and he says, and of course, well, we stay here as it masks us and allows us to use some of the energy, having spent many years deciphering how to. It also creates its own, and he gestures around to, because there's an open back to this building that looks out on the chasm and the trees that line the valley and everything around it. It also has created its own ecosystem here where there should be none. And you can see even the stone thrips, as he called them, the giant bug fleshy mouths. Like you see a couple of them fly down over the edge of the canyon and kind of latch onto a crystal and almost chew for a couple seconds, then fly back out and up into the mountains.
Are those things an issue?
They are just feeding. You were the ones who brought arcane energy, unusual arcane energy into this area.
So yeah, I get it. Those things are a natural part of this ecosystem.
Yes. But feel free to look around if you would like. You will be searched before them. And as he says this, he once again gestures the entire valley. If you'd like to explore,
Cool.
you can explore the valley here. Remember that any spell that you, even just touching one of these crystals, if you cast a spell while doing it, it will amp it up. And the larger the crystal,
Oh yeah, I remember.
it was something it was something ridiculous, that even that body-sized crystal did. I think it was times.
It was 100.
It was times 81.
Yeah, it was something nuts.
I have the math in here somewhere, and so I can look it up again if you want. But even the small crystals that they had, on their stabs, you got the sense that it. Roll an Arcana check real quick, actually. It definitely boosted their own magical energies.
24.
With that, I'll say you get a good sense for that it probably boosted their spell levels and their spell DCs, basically, in the parlance of the, talking to the player. Yeah.
But it has a chance of doing psychic damage, or
Well,
it does always?
I believe that there was a chance that it did psychic damage to me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that their people probably don't get the psychic damage, or because
Or chance of it, or
they've basically evolved, they've been there they probably have all kinds of innate things going on.
You remember that with the original crystal that there was a chance of psychic damage.
Yeah.
And that the more times you used it, the higher the chance got.
Yeah, and the fact that they had like little tiny ones on their staffs, and they were able to dispel. Like my fly spell was like I used a 7th level spell slot for it, so I don't know if that if it counted. Anyway, yeah, they were able to do some pretty powerful stuff with.
Okay.
Yeah. You also, I mean, just in some of the things he's done, and some of the ways he's talked, and some of the way he carries himself. He's very obviously using nature magic. Like every time he's drawn magic, you've sensed it coming from like the rocks or whatever around. So you're guessing it's some kind of druid. But yeah, he starts to turn to walk off again. Are there any other questions anybody else has?
Yes.
How do I get the fuck out? Best way to go to leave eventually.
You want to ask him that?
Yeah.
All right. He
like to
immediately
get to.
To I guess continue on our journey unless y'all want to try to figure out how to fix that ship, which I don't think we want to try to do.
I mean, the ship's pretty busted.
Yeah.
Although, with the help of those crystals and a mending spell, you could mend. It's like a Cadillac now.
I mean, mending spells are pretty limited, so you need a pretty good sized chunk of crystal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, if you amped it up enough.
You'd have to steal one of those crystals, though.
Yeah.
To use them.
And crossing the rest of the desert in that thing doesn't sound like.
Yeah, but they just get attacked again, probably.
Yeah, so.
You ask him, though. He says, it's easy enough. You said you were on your way to Tsar.
Mm-hmm.
He points back down the canyon, which now you're just realizing runs not quite due north-south. It's kind of like the way he's pointing is more southeast. He says it is pretty much straight that way. So you'd have to traverse this couple mile long valley and then over the mountains at the end and then out.
Okay. You have teleport,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to have been there or have something from there.
Oh, you could just try it from a description.
I mean, there's a lot of different ways I can.
But okay, so if Gundar has something from that place, could you use that? Okay.
Well, it has to be
From there from a certain period
6
of time.
months.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I think 6 months is what
Yeah.
it said. An object that was from that place within the past 6 months.
Okay.
But I mean, I can try from a description of the place.
I don't want
or
to
the
end up
vague memory.
farther away or
Inside a
in-
mountain.
Yeah, part of a mountain now. Carl's a mountain. This is
It's my life now.
You just went, what are you trying?
Want to try to cast a spell with one of these things.
One of the things.
What?
With one of the things.
One of the little crystal things that make things more powerful.
I mean, you could. I mean, there's none just lying around out here. You'd have to descend somehow into the canyon,
Or ask.
or either steal or ask. Yeah. From.
Cast fly on me again.
Mm,
Oh yeah, so associated object means that you possess an object taken from the desired destination within the last 6 months. So probably don't have that.
no. Okay. Well,
It's like something that would be relatively harmless. See how big of an area and how powerful I can make it. So I was going to do is like zone of truth over the entire area, make everybody tell the truth.
but they'll be upset about that. And right now they're
Yeah, but
letting
it's
us.
relatively harmless.
Well, they told us not to mess with the crystal.
And it, would,
Oh,
it wouldn't
I
be.
fucking zoned
Oh,
out.
yeah. That was like the first thing I asked. I was like, can we use this?
It would also be dangerous to you.
Yeah.
even if it was a harmless spell. And so far, these people seem legit. Like we,
Yeah.
you know, I think we would need that if we suspected them of lying or doing, you know, like we. At this point,
They said they were gonna search us
Before we leave.
how thoroughly.
No. Oh no.
Full cavity.
Butt crystals. Oh no.
Sure, that's like
I never thought about. I
what?
there's a
Oh god.
no. There's a
that should be a lot. That should allow another attunement.
there's a
Just Wickhoff's always thinking about everything. Should I put it up my butt?
yeah. No, definitely never considered. Oh, I was just there's a spell that I've looked at before that really bugged me. I never thought about a use for it like that. It's where you can like an instant summons. You can take an object and like dismiss it into like pocket dimension or whatever, and then like it gets associated with like some little gem, and then you crush the gem, and that object appears in your hand again.
Wow.
It's like if you wanted to smuggle something or like.
Emergency object.
But it's an expensive spell.
I mean, you also know that. I mean, it's a bag of holding that Roland carries. You're not you're not. You know that nothing can be detected.
Yeah, how would you search a bag of holding?
Yeah, but
They have magic powers.
we'll throw a gem in there and we'll create a whole other plane of existence.
Let's see if it comes to that.
Yeah, what happens if you throw
We
one of
haven't
these
even
gems
asked
into
very, very nicely. We just casually asked.
like a quasi dimension? You just create your own plane.
I don't
I
know.
was gonna do
Oh.
that.
So he pointed us in the direction that we needed to go.
And he said we can explore the valley.
You get the feeling that you're going to be followed. You might not always see them, but
So we were told not to mess with them.
Yeah.
well, not to mess with the crystal.
Look but don't touch.
And I mean, maybe we could. They obviously get to use the crystals, so if we need a use for them, perhaps we could get them to help us
Mm-hmm.
by them using the crystal for us.
I just
If we,
cast a really powerful
Oh,
spell.
I get you, man. I get you.
None of the spells like would be harmless though. Yeah, already.
I still wanted to use that piece that we had from the Dragon's Lair.
do we want to explore the valley or do we want to rest and head out tomorrow?
But we definitely need a rest
Yeah.
for spell slots and health slots. Trying to think if there was anything I wanted to ask the leader guy. Besides just confirming with him, like you, I guess I'll say, you said your people are called the unconsumed, what was it?
The unconsumed.
Unconsumed. And I guess just ask him, like, your people were known as the
Draenasar.
Draenasar. Like, are you the Draenasar?
His brow kind of furrows a little bit.
Maybe he might not know that word.
He goes,
I mean, we were.
that once.
No, I mean no offense. I'm just putting all this together.
We honestly do not know. They kept ourselves separate. I'm guessing from your question, I've not seen any like us before.
The outside world pretty much thinks that your people were destroyed in the that event, the calamity.
That's it. Yes. It's a great word. He says,
Good.
Yeah. Nobody thinks you're out here. That's for sure. Do you? Is there any way, are there any modes of transportation, vehicle-wise, that wouldn't be targeted by the mouthy things?
Don't use magic.
Not magical.
Nice.
It's the best way.
Boring.
He points down at your feet.
You got feet.
They work fairly well.
How far are we from?
Far.
We were gonna
There's
be
a
a
mountain we have to
couple
go
of
through.
days on this.
I mean, you were within about a day on a sky ship.
Right.
You're less than a week on foot.
Oh dear.
This place definitely doesn't have a teleportation circle.
If you say that out loud, he just ha. He just laughs. Yes.
I cast cat nap by touching the thing. It's supposed to only last 10 minutes, but I put people in a combo roll.
Well, if you touch one of the giant crystals in the canyon, you might put all of Exandria asleep.
Yeah.
Or you might put a few people to sleep for 1,000 years.
Oh damn. Don't fuck with me.
It's kind of random how it decides what's going to be, especially if there's multiple factors.
We should leave here soon
Heroism.
before we get
Before the temptation is too great.
Yep, heroism.
Patience.
You defeat forever.
To use the forbidden,
there you go.
forbidden crystals.
Oh gosh. Okay, long rest.
Permanent temporary.
I mean, you're shown if you want to take longer. So you were shown where you can rest up,
Okay.
recover from the battle you just had, recover a spell slots, things like that. If you'd all let.
I is there anyone here that do you have any? I mean, a good number of you seem fairly proficient in the magical arts, the arcane arts, but is there any? Do you have any? Anyone here particularly knowledgeable in magic and magic items that I could speak to? Talk shop with, if you will. I'm a wizard, you see.
Yes, actually, I could. He reaches around and brings out the jar again that you had seen him pass Wall of Force with, and as you look, it's a simple-looking kind of. It's almost like a ball jar. Inside is a living scorpion that's kind of skittering up one side than the other. If you look close, you can see that there's those similar runes to the ones you had seen on the logs coming in here that are inscribed on the metal of the lid. And since it is.
Ooh.
What exactly are you wondering?
It's kind of boring. Jar.
Curiosity.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. What is it? I mean, I'm assuming I don't recognize the runes that were on the log or the thing. They're probably
You do not.
not common.
What languages do you speak
I
or read?
speak the common, giant, gnomish, and sylvan.
Okay. You don't recognize the runes.
Yes, it was. Oh.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
There's comprehend language.
But I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Either way, I'm gonna go rest.
Okay. So you go rest. Talking with Vitelio Moore, he says, I just call it scorpion in a jar. I'm not necessarily the best at the naming of the thing, but basically he tells you that he I mean, he's been doing this kind of thing for a long time, and he's good at making small things that basically in the kitchen Alton Brown would hate. One focus, one use stuff.
This tool does one thing.
It does one thing exactly. This one in particular, it's a scorpion in a jar because you can cast Wall of Force with it. And tracks away like a scorpion in the jar. Scorpion
We
being.
had that.
Yeah.
You have a scorpion in a jar?
No, it was dead.
Oh.
There was a scorpion in my office at work one day, crawling across the floor. I was like, didn't even really think we had scorpions in Georgia, but apparently there was like 2 species that in the southeast.
Yeah, I know there's some whip scorpions here. I didn't know.
This is like a true scorpion.
Okay.
It's not like a pseudo scorpion or anything, but like it's a true scorpion, and it was crawling across the floor in my office, and I scooped him up and we put him in a jar, and now he's kind of,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
he's dead, but
You did it. I didn't kill it.
I wasn't trying to keep
They're
it alive,
scorpions. They're hard to. I mean, it's you can't ever kill all the scorpions.
and it looks pretty cool.
But that's what he calls this. What would what did you want to ask him about exactly?
Yeah, get to your point,
I was thinking about showing him
wizard.
my fire starter, but it's not magic, it's just a tinkerer thing. But now that I saw the scorpion in the jar, I'm just like, you're about my lighter. But I was going to ask him about my tiny crystal skull. I think I've gotten some information on it, and it's just like, the only information I remember having is just like, there are tiny crystal skulls in the world, and they can be used as magical components or something. But I really didn't know
Aliens.
I mean, they can be.
much about it.
But
So I'm just gonna say, what would I do with this? If you had this, what would you do?
Make a necklace out of it.
looking at it, he says, "May I?" Takes it out of your hand. Looks over it a bit. Says, looking at the crystals, because the crystals are not have a pinkish color. He says, this is interesting. This could be used as a magical focus, I imagine. Several different things you could do with it as a magical item by combining it. Let's see. Of course, well, where did you find this?
We found it outside of a cave or on top of a. It was.
Didn't we find the big one too? No, that
Well, there was
different.
there was a big skull
Oh,
that I think we just said.
Oh, that's Big Skull.
That's big skull. Let's go.
goodbye.
That was in the swamp
No,
near
this
the Black Dragon's lair.
This was not near that. This was found on the edge of a huge cavern. It was like next to a little tree on a rock on a cliff outside of a cavern that we found a cavern with a sleeping Tarrasque.
With the sleeping Tarrasque.
Yeah,
I suppose.
yep,
There's only
yeah.
one. Interesting.
it was just sitting outside. I don't know.
If you're going to stay for a day or so, I might give this more thought. I mean, you seem like a capable wizard. I'm guessing this would allow you to get back there should you ever what you wanted to have. It was in the middle of like the marshlands, between the Morningset countryside and the Singhorn forest. It's where you came through back into Exandria after the City of Doors.
Hmm.
It's fairly far north of here.
That's where the portal from the City of Doors shot us out
A
at.
random portal.
That's right. Because I was wondering, I couldn't remember how we got there, like why we were traveling and ended up in this cavern of the Tarrasque. That makes sense.
Because of fun. Interesting.
But yeah, we I imagine we'll be here for at least a day or so.
Yes. Is there anything else you'd like to?
I mean, we could sit here and talk shop all
I
day.
mean,
but I think we won't.
if you show him the broomstone, you could definitely come up with some.
Oh yeah. Guess it would. They definitely don't want to use it to make anything high around while we're still trying to travel through the valley, but yeah.
Show it.
Yeah,
Show 'em.
I'll show him the broomstone and tell him that I'm a bit of a mechanic myself, and that I tinker, and I'm a bit of a tinkerer myself, and I'm thinking that with this broomstone I'd be able to put together some sort of device or.
Oh gosh. So, he says, "Yeah, let me think about it." And just looking over some of the other stuff you have, and he looks at your Arcana mechanical armor, and he's like, "Yeah, I've never seen it do this." Go rest. Go rest. What is that?
I think
Sorry, I have
you
the
just got the giggles,
I
yeah.
did. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. So, and he says, "But please go rest." In the meantime, so everybody's gonna go rest for the night. I take all this off the board. We're not there. I just had it here because
That's so cool looking.
I wanted you all to have a good idea of
Yeah.
what's happening.
How fucked it was.
It's good to have them as a representation. So you all go. Oh, don't give yourself a long rest yet.
Oh.
I
He
mean,
needs to clear this out. Put out other.
you never know. I don't know. There's something that may happen before you get along.
So I'm guessing there's just like a. I mean, this place really wouldn't have an inn. I don't think an inn would stay in business very long.
No. It lives here.
I guess they just have some house that has extra rooms.
Yeah, basically there is a small hut kind of. There's some grass woven mats on the floor. Not the most comfortable place we've ever slept in, but there's no inn in this town. There's not even really a tavern.
Yeah. It's just.
As you kind of settle down for the night, as the sun is going down, you see it's a nice community. There's families running around. Everybody has. It wasn't so much that they took down their face kind of aura, but they gave you the ability to see through it, basically. And you see that it's a small, growing community. There's a few children around, not many. In the sense that maybe like the elves, they don't have a great rate, which is why the community, which if they've been here since the time of the calamity, that's at least 800 or 900 years.
Whoa.
The sound of it, some of them are fairly long-lived. Like you get the sense, a few, that some of them live up to 200 years or so. Also, from asking around, you get the idea that Vitelio Moore is much older than that. And also, he's referred to sometimes as chieftain, but other times you hear, in one conversation in particular, you hear somebody refer to him as the Archdruid. Would possibly give him a lifetime of thousands of years. But as things quiet down for the night, your hut is not right on the edge of the kind of canyon that opens in the middle of the valley here, but it has a view of it. And let's see, what is everybody's passive perception?
Shinty.
Mine is a perception 16.
15. Okay, so it would be you. You catch the scent. Maybe around 9 or 10 at night when you're ready. You're like, you're tired when you're getting ready to bed down. You catch the scent of almost incense.
So you get a short rest.
You get short rest for sure.
Okay.
But you catch a scent of incense, of just this strange smelling incense that you haven't smelled yet here in the city or the village. And you kind of mutter and point it out. The next one that catches, because it's pointed out, is Crom. It triggers the sense memory suddenly. You kind of start looking around and realize that as you're moving your head around, it's coming from the canyon. Something is, and you can even see this, like, as you start to look, this kind of small smoke trail almost going down into the cavern. The sense memory you get is of a hut with a simple cloth and hide covering for the door. You've seen it twice now amongst your travels. First in Singwarn, in the underground market. Then in the midst of Brombog, in the midst of the swamp.
The card game thing.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
the odd little, or not so little, I suppose, frog-like entity with his cards. You recognize the smell of the incense. It seems to be coming out of chasm.
You guys, let's go.
Where are we
I'm
going?
gonna explain what I think it is to them.
Gundar gives you a look, and Roland is like,
Okay. Don't we want to do it? Just go see what's up.
Yeah, we could go check in.
I mean, there were many things in that deck.
Yeah. Yeah.
One might even
not
say.
many good things, but some good things.
Mm-hmm. You know I like some random action.
You
know what I mean.
You hearing the story as
Breaking.
she explains it to you, you're like they kind of explain it to you. I don't know, like, think of that actually.
I would be curious,
And then,
but I am also curious. Why is it?
oh, it just
randomly
goes up, man.
pops up.
Is that are our new friends gonna be okay with just randomly appearing weird stuff
Oh.
Like,
in the valley?
you know what? For some reason, we've never questioned that part of it. It shows up and we go in.
Even though sometimes it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going. You're
Yeah,
here?
I'm going in.
You want to come? Just to look?
Oh yeah.
You don't have to draw a card.
Yeah.
No, I will observe.
Yeah, you're here to explore and experience things.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Everybody roll stealth checks because you're gonna have to sneak it kind of out of the city.
Shit.
well.
Okay. Or jokey.
I've not been stealthy. I got a 9.
You roll a natural 1.
We won't make it.
We're just talking real loudly. Look, everybody, let's go over there.
You guys were really stealthy, but I tripped and hit him.
And I hit you.
One of you stops in the front. And everybody... So you try to start sneaking down, and you, before coming too far, you somebody just yell out, "Hey, what are you doing down there?"
You smell that?
And you hear somebody kind of start coming around the corner towards you. As that happens, yeah,
We in trouble?
Like it's almost immediately like a fog seems to come out of the ground around you
Oh no.
and kind of rise up. And almost like a curtain. Suddenly there's just fog, and you can see small lights of the village around you, kind of
We didn't do
through the
anything.
fog a bit. You didn't do anything.
Oh, they probably.
And you hear
outsiders.
just kind of somebody run very close to you past through the fog, and then away, and the footsteps recede. Something. Yeah, something's weird here.
Mm.
Are you continuing on?
So what can
It's fog.
we're
divided
surrounded?
on the
Is the
ground
fog
from the
blocking
valley.
our view from?
I mean, you're. It's hard to see.
Things
You know
around
where
us.
you were headed.
Yeah,
Like
we can't see the.
you
The
can.
door.
You
The door.
can. You
The
can't. You
hut.
can't see. You can't see the hut yet. Like you just know that you were headed towards the chasm, the canyon, whatever it is. And you can see the purple glow of it. It's strong enough that you can see it through
Maybe we
the
should we
fog.
step back?
Okay.
Like, but whoever had yelled out, like, just sprints past. And, like, you don't even see them. You just you hear gravel just.
Well, if we can see the glow coming from the.
You know which way to go.
Yeah, there we go.
See what's happening.
Coming up on the side, you see that you're still within fog. As you come up, the light of this canyon is fairly bright at this point, and you come up to the side and you can kind of see an edge of the ground here. There's kind of a little bit of a stone wall that's been built around this part just to keep pets and small children from running in and things. And you see the fog is kind of pouring over it down into the canyon wall. A little bit up to your left, as you kind of as the fog is descending here, you can kind of look out of it almost. And over to the left, about a quarter mile, there is what looks like it could be a path that goes down. Because not all of the canyon walls are totally crystallized. There is other rock and dirt, up at the top, and then more rock beneath, and so you wouldn't have to necessarily even touch crystals to get down into it. It would be very easy to touch a crystal as you're going down,
Rather not.
but you don't have to.
Yeah. So.
And it's only, like I
try
said,
not
about a
to.
quarter mile off. It's an easy couple-minute walk.
Yeah. Let's see what's going on, right?
Yeah, I
It
mean,
is strange that this thing
Yeah.
is just all of a sudden.
Yeah, definitely strange.
Also strange that the fog showed up.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't remember that happening before.
But that's the power to do it.
Did we trigger that, or did the incense burn?
I don't remember. Maybe there was kind of a fog around the thing.
The smell of the incense is strong now.
Let's
And
keep
looking down,
going.
you can't see the hut you're looking for, but you know that it's strong.
Yeah, just keep
Yeah.
following.
Follow.
Definitely not gonna touch any of those big crystals.
Yeah. Watch out, man.
Following along,
Especially you.
kind of the side of you occasionally you hear a little bit of commotion within the village as people are wondering what this fog is about, but you
Oh, so
Oh, they don't know what it's about.
you come along to the side of what just a little bit outside the village at this point now, and the fog has kind of dissipated a bit, and you find this kind of small simple path that just kind of descends like one of the paths in the Grand Canyon, just narrow, and at times it even like slopes outwards into the canyon a little bit, and it's kind of freaky. But it descends and then switches back and switches back and switches back, and you can see it goes all the way to the bottom
Of the chasm within the canyon.
The chasm, which is, itself a couple hundred years deep.
Where was the hut? Before the mist?
Oh, you haven't seen that. You just
Oh, I
you
hadn't
just
seen
smelled
it. I
it.
smelled it.
You smelled it, and it seems to be coming
I
out
didn't
of
realize
out of the
it
canyon.
could be all the way down there. I also
Yeah.
realized I was wondering this like earlier when we were first seeing this. I thought about what was at the bottom of the chasm, but I never thought to look or ask or Like, is there a river down there? I don't know. I guess we're gonna go down there.
It's hard to tell from the top.
Yeah.
Because the walls go straight down, mostly straight down.
Great time to go and investigate.
Yeah.
We were told not to go
In
down.
the
You were told not to mess with the crystals.
Yeah.
Oh,
We can go down there.
oh yeah, we could explore. Like,
Nobody ever said you could or could not go down there. They said you could explore the valley, and this is
Cool.
technically in the valley.
Sweet. Okay.
And we're not messing with. I think we're following all the rules.
just watch out for your hand spells.
Just don't trip.
Yep.
Anyway, moving down then, switching back, it takes you. It's like you slip sometimes, and gravel kind of goes off the edge, and it takes a minute for it to the bottom. It's kind of freaky, but it's still like somebody made this path. Eventually, down in the bottom, you find yourself surrounded on all sides by these walls where crystals are coming out at all. It's like being inside a geode with an open top.
God, they could totally just give us one of these.
Some of them rising from the bottom are like diameters of like 50, 60 feet.
They're being creepy.
And there's a path
That's
that
a little pebble, but that was at least
winds
double.
around some of them and into kind of this forest of crystal.
Wow.
And the smell of the incense is even stronger here. You're going the right way to find it.
We're not stealthy.
You have not been, no.
We have a close by where we were going.
I mean, Gundar and Roland and the Commodore and the Metal Child all stayed behind.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
we
the three of
said
you.
we were gonna go look for that
Yeah, we-
smell
Yeah.
that we thought we knew was.
All right, still following the trail?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You follow for a couple minutes, winding around some large and some smaller pieces, and it is a huge temptation to reach out, touch these things, and do something with one of them.
I can touch them.
Oh yeah, you could just be like,
I guess I don't know. These things are kind of mysterious.
in fact, you start to wonder at some point. You don't have you're not magic,
Hmm.
but you kind of put your hand over your back and kind of touch the hilt of your sword for a second, and you're like, what would happen?
Huh.
Little socket.
What would happen? It just crosses your mind. What would happen? You
Stuff
just-
this into.
Plunged your sword into one of these things. I mean, think about what your sword does. Like, it does more damage. It allows you to commune with a god.
Yeah. Oh, that's not loud.
It also, like, is part of the prison of another god.
I'm just
Like,
gonna
would
keep
it
my hands
release-
to myself.
Would it release them, or would it
Would
release,
it make it super prison?
Super
or would
jail.
it destroy it? You don't know.
I'm just gonna keep my hands to myself. Safely.
But within a few minutes, you come around a medium-sized crystal, which I mean the size of, a car. And you see,
Celestial beast.
nestled amongst some rocks, a couple smaller crystals kind of growing out of the wall of the canyon around it.
Small.
The same exact hut entrance you've seen every time. A little bit of flickering candlelight coming from inside.
Fog. Is somebody coming here to steal souls from these people?
Did the fog masked our exit?
As you kind of pause, almost like an unseen hand grabs and like just moves aside the hide covering the entrance, and you see a small fire burning, candles lit on all sides inside, and the same kind of hunched frog-like features
Gross.
of this blob of a large humanoid just kind of sitting wrapped in a blanket inside, eyes closed, arms kind of like this. What would you like to do?
Good.
Kind of looking. See what you guys do.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
I
You
want
need
to
to know a
go,
little bit more about this.
Yeah, I wanna go
go sit
inside.
down in front of him.
It's new with you.
As the two of you enter, and Lysander, you're falling behind. Go back a little bit, looking around. You get inside and sit down. There are candles all up, and as you do, the hide kind of falls back and swings back into place. And there are candles on little shelves and nails stuck into the walls of this place. Little shiny bits of crystal, different crystals or glass or pieces of metal or coins, or you see small animal skulls and small like dolls made of bunches of twigs tied together, things like that, just hanging from different places. And the figure whose name you've never, as far as the eyes open, those same yellow kind of reptilian eyes with their sideways pupils slit, kind of looking at you, and they kind of dart between the three of you. They say, "Welcome back. Would you like to know your fortune, or perhaps?"
Your
and
name.
he
What's
brings
your
he brings up his hands and brings over.
Oh my god.
The cards just kind of fan out from nowhere,
So
and then he brings them back, and they disappear.
Danger.
You ask him
Yeah, I forget your
them
name.
their name.
Forget.
Jedi. Did you ask his name?
Yeah.
They look at you and oh, perhaps another time.
Oh gosh. I think you say that every time.
It's kind of devilish, too large smile on his wide face.
You drawn a card before?
I think so.
Which card did you get?
I don't remember.
They look up, and almost it's like they're listening or judging something, squinting their eyes. They say, "Interesting. The magic's here. Never felt a place like this.
Yeah, how'd you get here?
So, where I am." Is that the- Where I will, in any case. This place, though, I feel a strength, and they kind of make fists of these long clawed hands,
Whoa.
and you feel like just kind of a rumble the ground beneath you. Interesting.
Yeah, be careful with that.
be
It's pretty
careful.
strong here.
Yeah. There's.
You seemed excited though
Yeah.
about.
Okay,
about
let's
once
do it.
again.
I don't think I've drawn.
You did. You were told that you would be betrayed
Oh yeah,
by
that's
one
right.
close to you.
Yeah. At least more than once, probably. I was
Yeah.
told that several times. By different.
That's life.
It's an easy one.
What a charlatan.
But yeah, looking back, you could see that was fulfilled
Yeah.
several different times, possibly.
Yeah.
But they look at you all and say, "How would you? Who would like to think
Me.
it's dangerous to
I know. You know that.
I mean,
I know.
there are some cards that would be.
Game breaking or death causing.
It would be
You make things
alter. It would change
complicated.
things.
Well,
But obviously, that's what we're here for.
It's for?" Choose.
I take it.
All right, you take one. As you flip it over, you see
Oh no.
you see a very artistic rendering of the exact same scene you're in right now.
Whoa.
You leaning forward to take a card from this figure. And as you flip it back around to show everyone, the individual that you're sitting with frowns and cocks their head and says, let's see, this one.
No,
Before.
Those are your cards, bro.
And he looks up at you and he says, Link. And as you do, all three of you blink at the same moment, and as you open your eyes, you are no longer in the hut.
damn it.
Where are we?
Well,
Where we were trying to be earlier.
rather, let me see something. You are sitting in the midst of a dirty-looking tavern at the bar. Doesn't seem too familiar.
It's all a dream.
Those around you seem
We're still level 1.
rather
God.
careworn. Seem rather careworn. There is the clatter of dishes around. It looks you look over as song seems to end, and there's a bard over in the corner that it's just finished playing and it's putting away their instrument in the case. It is late at night, it seems.
Guys,
What
do
happened?
you remember coming to this bar?
Dude, we have all our memories, so like we know where we were a second ago, and we know now we are not there. Right?
Yes, you know you are just
Okay, we're-
confused at this point. You're like, what is going on? The barkeep is going around, taking money, handing drinks back. You all have a couple drinks in front of you. You know, a couple empty and one partially full. You've apparently been here for a while.
I'm gonna
Um,
ask the bartender, where are we?
Yeah, I'm gonna look outside.
All right, make a perception check. It is raining outside. You can see for sure, so it's hard to tell.
You wouldn't know anyway.
But
You're able to. You're in the slaughter docks.
To what?
You've been here for a while now. Right?
What
Okay.
city?
We're
Is that in the
in Iman. What are you talking about?
oh,
No.
And he kind of just wanders off. But then he stops for a second. And just his voice lowers. Be careful. Down at the end, he kind of gestures. He's been asking about you all. He kind of goes off to about his business, and looking over, you see he was pointing at this large, like maybe the largest human you've ever seen, almost as tall as you.
Rain.
It's raining. Good for the ambience. What did you roll for your
26.
26? Yeah, you see outside this muddy street, rain
Damn it.
pouring down outside. A few people still trying to trudge through, cloaks held about them like this as there's water rushing down. You see at the end, though, as you were all told this, you all three look over, and there's just this large, burly, red-headed, with a huge beard
What?
man sitting at the end, almost as tall as you, but obviously human.
We seen him before? Do we recognize him?
Make a perception check to see if you
One.
you don't immediately recognize him. Something about him seems like it should be familiar, but it doesn't. No memories come up. And he's only a couple of seats down from you. As you're looking over, he kind of is just kind of sitting over his drink, kind of hunched over, kind of staring into it. He just suddenly kind of looks up at you
And we're all staring right back at
and
him.
squints and kind of frowns.
I'm gonna say, hey, what's your name?
Looking at you, says, it's just gravelly. Like there's almost no voice to it. It's just scratching almost.
I think things we have.
As you're kind of giving them that look, he stands up, grabs his drink in this massive, like,
I've had
bear
some
paw
head trauma.
of a hand, and just kind of moves a couple seats down and sits right down next to you, and kind of, puts his drink down a little bit, sloshes it over, and he puts his other hand down on the counter and is just looking at you, directly next to you now. Says, "You."
What?
Like it doesn't make sense. Like he's
Yeah.
dressed like he's been out in the wilderness, just hides on him, like this bright red beard and hair, and just these eyes that look at you. They almost seem to be golden in color. Now that you get closer, it says you.
Sorry.
It's
I'll hold
okay.
it.
It's weird. Like even you don't get any like I should know this person, but you start to. Like, there's something about the voice that's just scratchy, like, it's almost like there's almost no voice there. That's what's doing it for you. And then you see the eyes, and you're like, what? They're weird eyes. They're almost, like, he looks human, but the eyes don't look human. It says, you owe me.
Oh.
Oh, you had a realization. I don't know if it's the right realization, but we can find out.
I don't remember. I don't remember his name.
There's,
I think
you,
I have
but
it written down.
you come across so many entities.
Yeah,
But
but
it's hard to know.
This would be a dragon.
I roll a history check to see if you can remember, or an intelligence check.
I guess I'm trying to remember the name of the black dragon. That's a natural one.
I mean, like you start thinking that way, and then you're like, but no, the black dragon was an old woman. In their humanoid form. This entity, like the voice is all wrong for that. The form is all wrong for that. But when you start to think dragon,
He's red hair. I was thinking maybe the red dragon.
you start to think dragon, and you're like it. That seems right, but you're not sure how. I mean, you've met. You're not even sure if you actually know this person. It just seems.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll just say, I thought maybe it's a dragon in human form.
Well, if you look, like they have these gold eyes, and they're
Oh.
and just
Is there a dragon right here?
this fiery red hair, and it says that you owe him.
I mean,
Blue dragon? No?
we went up against a red dragon one time, but we really didn't have much interaction other than just that.
Man, we owe so many people, dude.
I was either gonna say like you.
Was
you
that
have-
where the Slayers were? Slayers people? Slayer.
That's the contract. Was the red dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are they? Where's their base?
That was Vasselheim. This is
that's
Helheim.
yeah. Okay.
But the as you're kind of looking at each other and kind of whispering to each other, he says,
You're gonna have to be more specific, dude.
Yeah.
he puts up a thumb and goes, one soldier. Puts up a finger, says one lightning. Puts up another finger, says one more mace. And as each finger goes up, it starts to grow, and a claw starts to come out of it.
Oh no.
I think didn't we steal that from the red dragon?
And
Uh,
as he finishes saying these things, like puts both hands down, and both start to become
Oh, but
these
he's
red scaled
Ooh.
claw hands,
yeah.
and starts to transform fairly quickly. Stands up, the stool goes flying. It's right next to you. This large human just quickly starts becoming neck growing into the roof. The whole roof blasts off as rain starts to pour down on you.
Sorry, everybody in the bar
Yep.
tavern.
Yes, and as rain starts to pour down on you, everybody starts running and screaming from this
Well, you're not gonna help?
ancient red dragon.
Oh my god.
Oh, in front of you.
The bar's still there?
Most of the bar at this point, the tail takes out an entire wall. People just flying through the air, and then like thudding against the building across the street. It just
That's fucking cool.
That is really cool. That pink dot's awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, I love this thing. You
Yeah.
guys never got to see it really the
know.
first time because it was all online then.
I know.
Well, what we can? What do you? We'll pay you back.
Do you have the soul gem?
I mean, I don't know.
It's,
Have any of that
Oh,
stuff.
oh.
it's in the metal child's chest, who is not currently.
He's not.
you know.
I don't know yet anything, man.
I think I sold my lightning in a bottle very recently.
Like, let's
Well,
be honest, you don't have any of this crap.
Yeah, and I don't think that would make him happy anyway. But
As he rushes, as he's just kind of pounced, like ready, like crouched there, ready to pounce on you directly next to you. Just everybody roll for initiative.
But hey, at least this is finally happening. Oh,
20.
All right. Oh, there's so much here.
$13.
Okay.
I've got full health and everything, but something can get around. My phone is going to spell 5.
Oh no. Whoops.
Yep.
Can we pause this until a long rest? I'm feeling kind of tired. You
Don't
wouldn't,
worry, you'll be fine.
you wouldn't wanna.
We're just having some fun here.
You wouldn't wanna.
What did you get for free? Like, there's not scary music on. It's
25.
It's calm music on. 25.
Save initiative.
All right, Lysander, you're up first as this giant ancient red dragon is just crouched in front of you. Obviously, you can see fire starting to build inside the mouth that's gaping open as it starts to roar in front of you. What do you want to do? Blood and splinters just splattering everywhere.
Hmm.
Cast greater visibility on myself.
I got greater invisibility.
Oh.
Get the hell out of Dodge.
Okay. I mean, which way do you want to run? It's pretty much open in every direction with the whole thing collapsing around you. That's you.
These are each 5, right?
What's that?
These are each 5, right?
Very fun. Yes. Okay. As yes. As you do that, that is your turn, right? Let me look at something. All right, roll your stealth check. If you're hiding, I'm guessing, as your action. So you get, I think you get advantage on stealth. It's greater visibility, right?
Yeah, this means they can actually do stuff out.
Yeah. All right. Anything carrying invisible? Yeah, so you can when you're invisible you can
That was the second one. First one was 17. 8.
so 25. Interesting. Okay, cool. In that case, Sean, you're up.
Yay.
Dragon in front of you. What are you doing? You see you kind of out of the corner of your eye. You see Lysander suddenly shimmer and then you hear like slightly wet footsteps running away.
Hmm. Uh,
Just have fun with it.
yeah.
Do something.
Yeah, I'm gonna, I'll cast, Otiliuke's Freezing Sphere.
Cool.
Oh,
Fire.
sure. How do you spell that?
Well, it's Freezing Sphere. Otilukes?
I can't. I think I remember the yeah.
Wizards choose some really weird names.
I always, when the option presents itself, I always choose the spell that has the wizard's name who created it as part of, because it's like, it's identical to the spell called Freezing Sphere.
Okay.
It's just this one's flavored with the name of the wizard. You know, like Lehman's Tiny Hut is the same as Tiny Hut.
Well, I guess technically if you don't exist in the world with that. But
Right.
yes,
Yeah, that's it's for flavor for the universe or whatever. But
I'm sure that dude's actually from history, from D&D history.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Probably
For sure.
Greyhawk.
So I'm gonna cast freezing sphere.
Like 60 foot.
Yes. Yeah. It's a
60 foot radius sphere.
yeah 60-foot
So
radius.
where are you casting it?
I guess like behind him somewhere.
Like this is a 60 foot radius.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Greyhawk.
So yeah, you could cast it like
So like 50 feet behind him.
a little bit to his left and then 50 feet
Yeah,
behind him.
yeah.
Okay, there you
So
go.
I'm probably gonna freeze a bunch of townsfolk and
As the sphere just like suddenly you see the ice crystals form and it is raining and it's pouring, so there's already several inches of water within.
oh yeah,
The
if it
building
strikes a body of water or liquid,
Whoa.
Yeah,
that's principally
As
water.
you
it's gonna
freeze- the dragon, all four of the dragon's limbs in place,
Yeah, if they're within, well,
which means they have to use one of their action to break free if they want to break free. Roll your 10d6.
Nice.
Where they have to make a Constitution saving throw, right?
Yes, and as far as I can tell, that's interesting. The freezing water thing, I thought that would require like a dex saving throw, but it's like no.
No, it just happens.
If they are in the water, they are frozen in place
Nice.
and can do a strength check later. Anyway, okay, so yeah, it's gonna be a Constitution 18 saving throw.
They roll a 21.
Oh.
So they take half damage.
Those are gonna take halvesies. 44 ice damage, cold damage.
44 down to 22, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, with that, and you see several of the townspeople just freeze in place like statues. You have just totally killed them. Like, several people were like laying about and trying to get back up, and they're just like... But we'll go with that. With that, it is...
And
Oh yeah, would you like to take it into...
I mean, would it be attack of opportunity if I try to run away?
I can see what their reach is. Because I can't remember. Because they have more reach. You are 15. You would,
He
yeah.
was
There
kinda
would
like-
be an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, he was
and-
right
and-
next to us when he transformed.
And from the bite attack. It is an ancient dragon, so.
So I guess I'll stay where I am.
Alright. With that, at the end of your turn, Suddenly, Lysander, the tail you see come around at you. As you are within range of the tail there, to hit you. I mean, it's an ancient dragon. Oh, that's a 22 to hit. It is.
Then I have like, see what
I think you might have a funny dodge. Otherwise, that's 19 bludgeoning damage. As this pouring rain is still coming down, obscuring your vision. Fun fact: the passive perception of a ancient red dragon is 26, and you rolled a 25 on your check.
And they know when you take just like one tiny thing from their treasure pile.
Well, then what?
That was ridiculous in the Hobbit. I was like, how did he know? He knew.
That dragons now do that.
They know. They count.
He's angry with you.
Yeah.
He was. Is there anything? Do you,
Yeah, I'm
wait,
gonna have the attack damage against you. Might as well, it's a reaction. So,
Because you have a couple of different reactions as a bard and a rogue, right? You have silvery barbs? I don't. You have silvery barbs. You do have uncanny dodge. You can use as a reaction, which will have the 19.
well,
So that would have it down to 9. As it comes across him. For that matter. Let's see something. No, okay. Cool. With that, it lets loose its breath weapon at the two of you. Excuse me while I get this.
Gave away my thing.
Do you have your fire rifle?
No, I think I gave it away because I couldn't attune to it. I think GPL had it.
Oh,
Somebody. Not me.
Okay, could you both make a dexterity saving throw?
I'm gonna have to at some point figure out how my sneak attack works because it's confusing.
How's that?
Swashbucklers can do it in a different way, so
Okay.
I have 20.
but
I got 12.
the wording is weird when you just read the description.
Oh.
But on D&D Beyond, when you go to sneak attack, it
Yeah.
is you have to figure it out.
Okay.
Confusing.
I'll take a look. Okay. Go fail.
Damn. 18.
Roll.
Motherfucker.
He rolled not the worst. Fairly low. And you both take 38 fire damage.
Are you alive?
I'm alive.
Just says, and the rain like dissipates some of it, which is why you don't, I guess, take as much as you might. But this just giant cone of fire just like vaporizes all the rain around you for a second, and then you feel it start hitting you again, and
Ooh, that's spicy.
from Europe.
Okay, I'm gonna yell at him and say,
And as he uses that, but then he's gonna take his action and succeed. Strength saving throw. Out of the ice around him. What are you gonna do?
I'm just gonna yell at him. We also took your scale. We also took one of your scales. Just so you know. And I'm gonna say, it's a good day to die and macho stuff. Bring it, bitch. And then I'm gonna rage and try to swing. I can reach him.
You can run up and reach him
Okay.
easily. So not anyway.
I rolled 2. One of my attacks is plus 12. So 23.
That hit.
Cool. The other one is 18. Okay. Hit.
And are you raging?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Just wonder.
Yeah. And I'm gonna. So that was like a 7. I'm gonna do savage. No, so I'll keep the 7. 14 plus 3, 17.
17. As you run up and hit and slashing through, he kind of, still smoking at the mouth, kind of lunges back a little bit. And that's your turn?
Yep.
As that happens, you see his wings kind of flare out, and he starts to, you can tell a downbeat of the wings is going to happen, and he would be blown back. As you do, all of you at the same time close your eyes and kind of shield, and then you hear in your heads, blink.
Ha
Blink.
And
Then what happened?
the rain, suddenly the noise of the rain around you just cuts off. And all you can hear, gosh, let me see something. Mhm. All you can hear around you is water. Just the sound of dripping, somewhat running water.
It's dark.
Opening your eyes, it's fairly dark.
Could have a footloose dance off.
I mean, that would have been great. I haven't finished that season. Yeah. It's dark here. Who has dark vision? You can get you dark vision.
I do.
You have dark vision. You all have dark vision.
Mm.
It's hard to have a character that doesn't have dark vision these days. Okay.
Nothing ever happens to my monocle.
And you all, it's two of you still smoking. Lysander, you get up out of the water as you were kind of knocked prone a little bit.
Oh, are we in standing water?
You are in standing water about maybe a foot deep.
So I rolled a 17 and maintained.
You are still invisible. The two of you don't see Lysander anywhere, but he is there. Your eyes, it takes a minute because it was dim in the rain a second ago, but it's dark in here. It takes a minute for your eyes to adjust. Ooh, but as you do, you see you're in a cistern, like a huge cistern with a little bit of dripping water coming down from what looks like a tube of some type in the top. It's all built of worked stone. Around the edges, you see almost like a lip of a walkway around this. It's maybe 100 feet across. You're near the center. Different, looks like tunnels of some type coming in from the sides. Little trickles of water coming in. You're near the center, I say, because just over from you, there's a little bit of like a swirl to the water before it seems to be heading down into another pipe, straight down into a pipe about 5 feet across as like a little whirlpool. You aren't being dragged into it because it's not very deep water here, but it's like that's where a lot of the running water in here is coming from. Looks like you might be in a huge part of a large sewer system or something like that.
I'm gonna try blinking a bunch and try to get back to somewhere else. And I'm gonna be like, it's not fucking working.
It is not. You just go. But
You guys, how do we get
My
back home?
invisibility only lasts a minute. Combat. That's
Is there any light coming from anywhere?
You do see, yeah, looking around, there's a little bit of light coming from. It looks like there's 5 or 6 openings, like arched openings in the sides that you could step up to on that lip. And there's just this faint light coming from one of them.
Okay, let's go that direction. It's as good as any.
Yep.
What do you guys? Yeah.
Feels kind of like I'm still kind of reeling from
Yeah.
Like
what just happened.
some of your armor is still like
Yeah.
literally smoking.
Okay.
So that really happened, at least as far as we know.
Yep.
Hit points are still going. You don't know if Lysander is with you.
Oh, he
Are you-
hasn't popped back in yet.
No, he's still. How long does that last?
just a minute.
A minute. He still hasn't quite. Like it takes you a few seconds to get acclimated. By the time, like if you're gonna start heading over, by the time he gets there, he'll
Oh.
be apparate.
Welcome back.
So there's a whirlpool. There's like a drain, I guess.
Yeah, there's like a slow whirlpool of that's draining the
Oh,
foot
do you
deep
want to
water,
go down there? Go that way?
and then there's a little bit trickling in from a pipe above, and then there's looks like sewer tunnels that are opening into this large.
I guess let's head to that one that has light coming out of it.
Yeah.
Going up to the one that has light takes you a minute. As you're on your way over, Lysander breaks back in from invisibility and surprising you. Step up onto the lip, which is taller than it seemed. It's a good 4 feet tall, and you kind of have to
I'll
boost
get
yourself
Can I
up.
have a hand?
Um,
And who's leading?
little magic pants. I'll lead quietly.
I'll guard the back.
As you kind of finish boosting Chomp up, and you go up on tippy toes because it's a good another 8 feet up to get in. Like you kind of go up to look in. You hear a voice say, "I thought that might be you."
Oh shit!
As out of this opening, almost bowling you over, kind of a huge ball 10 feet across of flesh with eye stalks coming out of all different sides of it. As gosh, I can't even remember.
What was their name?
At Ataxeria, the beholder that you had faced in the Underdark, suddenly comes out.
I'm gonna cut off your eye stalks.
And you know, it's not very fast, but just 20 feet out, and turns to look at you. As she does, the two of you feel sudden lack of access to your magic. As you are on the lip, 4 feet up from the water, a little bit of water trickling down next to you, you were just all kind of spread out as this beholder 20 feet off is looking
Now,
at
do you want to try to go in the whirlpool? Are we gonna flee or are we gonna fight? Let's fight.
My trusty quarterstaff.
Sure.
Boop it on the head.
Well, I mean, make an Arcana check. See what you know about the magical attributes of beholders.
Arcana check.
Yes.
17.
17. You know that beholders have a cone of non-magic that they can use in front of them. So if you all separate, she's got to look one way or the other.
Yeah. With that creature, okay. I love it. It's so cute.
It will. She's a darling.
Was she 5 feet?
I mean, she passed within 5 feet of you if you want to hit her, but she hasn't hit you yet.
Okay.
It's up to you.
All right.
You could have an attack of opportunity as she goes by, but it's gonna make.
Okay. Well, yeah. I'll just hold my.
As you all are holding there,
What do you want? But
yeah, she turns towards you, the huge eye glowing, which is where the light was coming from.
yeah.
And
Okay.
the eye is looking on all directions, then back at you. She says, "You stole something from me.
You're gonna have to be more specific than that.
The magical items that you were supposed to bring back to me. Do you not remember
No.
that you were supposed to track down my supplier? You never came back. You are still on the clock, as it were, and your time has run out.
Oh, we're
That's right.
Well, I don't work here anymore. I quit, and
I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
You must have drawn the card of like
unfinished business.
consequences for your past actions card.
Gonna be here a
Unfinished
minute.
business.
Um, who will be next? But you can see as she's saying this, she's getting more agitated, and one and then another eye starts to like light up, and you hear this like
Scatter.
a
Everyone-
catheter.
Okay,
Like,
we
Charging it?
as Chomp says, scatter. I'll give you all one turn to scatter before you're actually in
Okay.
combat. So, what do you want? Which way y'all want to go?
go this way.
You're all technically. So, if you
I'll
scoot
go
that
this
way, and then
You gonna go back?
yep. All right, that would be into the tunnel. Which there's like a little ladder leading up, so you could, and then you're gonna go over to the side.
Oh
I don't know, it's
yeah,
up to you.
yeah. Because I can see around corners now.
It's true.
I got a cantrip that I haven't used yet called like.
And am I just
Zero.
against the wall, or
Yeah, because there's like this long curved wall that goes around. So the two of you, if you're gonna go out, will be either under her or either way on the wall.
How,
The water's only about a foot deep.
okay. There's nothing to hide.
I mean, you could try hiding under the water. I don't know if you have water breathing.
Don't. Stick my mouth out. Yeah.
You could try to hide.
That's a negative.
All right, a natural one as you kind of dive into the water. Everybody roll initiative.
My tail's sticking out of the water. Forget about that. Like,
Just really quickly.
I got a 19.
I got a 22.
Nice.
16.
19 for Lysander, and you had wait.
I had a 19.
You had a 19.
He had a 16.
So I had a 16. All right, Chomp. What are you doing? As you retreat in, you realize. Let's reach. Anti-magic con. Somebody roll a d6 for me. What do you get? 5. As this all happens, you feel yourself suddenly able to see as she turns and follows the movement of Lysander. So you can suddenly feel magic. You still are feeling without magic. But at the top of the round, it is somebody's turn. Chomp's turn. Ron, you're up next.
All right. Can I still like? Well, now that it's moved into the tunnel, like I can see it.
I mean, it's hasn't moved into the like you can see it. You've moved up into the tunnel. You can see it.
Okay.
From here, you don't need to use your cantrip to see this.
Um.
You can just barely kind of see her from. And she floats. Oh yeah, I changed this. That's right. Cool. It's fun.
I'm going to.
cast eye bite.
Do something. Magic missile those eyeballs.
I'm gonna use. I guess I'll use.
Oh, spellcasters.
Chromatic orb.
Chromatic orb.
I'll
Alright.
use fifth level chromatic orb,
No.
Choices.
All right.
and I'll choose.
I got two choices.
There's like a choice.
Left fist, right fist.
I don't know, something like thunder damage.
All right. Damage
Sure.
works. Yeah. All right. Make
So
your
that
it's a
is
ranged spell attack.
Ranged spell attack.
Warriors do not have amazing. Well, they have okay armor class. Roll.
13.
13 does not hit.
We meant to say magic. Okay.
I don't think you did. 13 does not hit as you go and you hear the thunderclap. It explodes near the floating giant head, but does not hit.
Okay.
And that's it.
Yep.
All right, Crom, you're up. Lysander, you're up next.
Yay.
Crom,
Okay.
as you hear this thunderclap,
Yeah.
it kind of jolts you into action.
Okay, I'm going to shoot with my arm crossbow device thing.
Okay,
Uh,
go for it.
14 hits.
14 does not hit.
I have an extra attack.
You do.
15?
It's an auto-loading crossbow.
15?
I think we've said. 15 does also does not. As you release 2 shots, does not hit. She is like she floated directly out of the tunnel. She's only about 7-8 feet in the air.
Okay.
You could hit her. Like I have her up on this pedestal here,
Yeah.
but she's
If I jump real
if
quick.
you jumped, you could hit her from below. So if you want to race out there and just for your next turn,
Okay.
it's up to you.
Yeah, I should have turned into my bat mode.
Raging bonus action.
I think I was already raging. Or no, I guess
Yeah,
another
Yeah,
time
you would have
passed. Okay.
dropped
Yeah.
if you want to move yourself though, because you still have your movement.
Can I retcon a rage bonus action? If not, that's fine.
Well, you can
You can rage after
do your
the fact.
bonus action.
Yeah.
So
What is it? What? I can move toward her.
you could
So
move
I
all the
can
way.
get-
You could probably get all the way under her, I'd
Okay.
say, because with
Okay.
your next point.
Okay.
you can rage.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
And
use
yes,
my bonus
rage.
action to rage.
As you do that, you hear the capacitor finish charging up, and because you were the first one to shoot at her, you see this silvery beam of light shine over at you, and the whole wall around the tunnel lights up. Make a con saving throw.
Who? Me?
Yes.
Eight.
Yocho. 8 fails. So as let's see.
How high is it?
What's that, sorry?
How high is it?
It is up there. It's like 7 or 8 feet up. As this light illuminates you, you find like this ghostly flame suddenly come up out of the ground around you, and you take 13 radiant damage.
Okay.
Can I use my my mage slayer if it casts a spell?
Well,
Or no? Okay.
they're not a spell. Because they
Oh.
are magical effects. Yes. But, Lysander, you are up
Okay.
as this happens.
Am I able to jump high enough to grab a hold of it?
What are you saying?
Yeah, you could get over to it, yeah. Like every once in a while, because the eyes are always going.
Yeah.
You could like grab onto one of the eyes on the underside if you got right under it.
So that's exactly what I'm doing, and I'm trying to get a hold of it and then kind of pull in close.
Okay. Whoa.
It's hard for the the eyes to like kind of look at me behind the sides.
And I can
Okay.
take either one.
So what are you doing with it? You're just gonna try to grapple it?
Yeah, well, I guess while I'm, if I can,
Because that'll also get you out of the cone while it's happening.
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. But I guess because I'm using my hand. I could do unarmed strike. So, let's see. Yeah.
You're just gonna do an unarmed strike.
Well, I mean, I don't know what all I can do.
Well, because when you get underneath it, suddenly you feel the magic return to you.
Oh, so
Like you were out of the cone under there. So you can, once you get under there, you can do anything. Hey, you can't.
I'll just do vicious mockery.
Okay.
Wisdom 16.
It's probably a fail, I'm guessing. The 2 on the dice, so for a 9.
Big. Got 4. 2. 2. And it has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes for the end of its next turn.
Okay.
I'd say, fuck off, you bug-eyed bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. So it has disadvantage on any attack it makes?
Yeah. I
Um,
guess the next attack.
Who's that standing next to me?
what's it? He ran under.
Thank you.
As
Well, I tried to climb on top of it. You know that, right?
yeah, like you, I'd say make an acrobatics check real quick to see how well you were able to do that. I'd say you can, but just to see how well it happened. Otherwise, you cast the spell as you were falling back to the water.
So 28.
28. Yeah, you were able. You kind of, with your cat-like nimbleness.
Just pretend that I'm.
Yeah, they're strong magnets, and the like the glue I used was pretty good, but
I was messing with it.
it needs to be
I
some
should
glue.
have done.
And you're able to like up and in,
Yep.
like, and you're holding on to one of the loop and as you cast the spell.
Now it's got me riding on it.
As you do that, one of the other eyes immediately turns over to you, and you hear you see it light up. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Dex. That would be 21.
All right, you save. You feel your arm, which is like this ray of light that kind of comes out onto it. You feel your arm start to tense up, and you look down real quick, and you swear it started to turn to stone.
So
Before it, like you flex and like a little bit of dust comes
I'm
out.
on its back, so does it turn itself into stone?
Because the eyes are going to be fairly focused.
But it did.
You saved in any case.
But that would be the dex. That would be
At which point it is
the straight line.
Atexiria's
Math.
turn, and she. Oh gosh, what is she gonna do?
What is a ray?
She first off brings the ray. Well, she keeps the ray on you, so you have to make another con saving throw, Sean.
Oh, I have to do another con saving throw?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate you right now.
Mm. 14.
Yep. With that,
Feel it.
you take another 12 points of radiant damage
Okay.
from the fire still around you.
Are you dead?
No.
As she also, because she keeps that up, she can also do another one. Let's see. She's going to cast something else on someone else. I need the 8. There we go. She casts Ray, Enervation Ray on you as one of the eyes at you.
Is that a spell? No.
That is a DC 17 Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, wait. Um, 17 plus 8. 25.
So you save. So you take. It was actually 25 damage, but you take 12 damage.
What kind of damage?
Oh, necrotic damage. As this kind of searing ray comes across you, and you feel your muscles tense up and your skin kind of blacken.
But
On your right arm, your left arm, it's fine because of this.
it is totally cool.
It is totally cool. And with that, you see also all the eyes suddenly start charging up, and they all seem to flash. You all
No.
blink.
God damn it! I was just about to kill you. Probably.
In your dreams.
In As you all
If you die in my dreams.
blink once again, you close your eyes with the flash of light. And you find yourselves, on opening your eyes, in just a black space. Just sheer blackness, a stone floor beneath you, but other than that, black, as far as the eye can see in every direction. Little noises around,
No noises?
like as if something
Skittering? Like,
skittering.
with 8 legs and more?
Yeah, I think I've been.
Fuck.
What would you like to do?
Get out.
Need to polymorph.
Into a big spider
Something with more than 4 hit points.
and confuse it. And
I'll give
confuse
y'all-
it into mating with you.
You hear a voice say, "Yes. Here you are. I was wondering when you'd show." Here. Of much larger legs hitting the stone.
I
Grasping.
Okay. So we can't see anything.
No. You occasionally catch just movement out of the corner of your eye. It's almost like it's not like there's light around you, but everything is dark somehow. You can see the floor beneath you, but it fades into darkness fairly quickly.
I mean, a match, whatever.
If like you definitely recognize the voice. You haven't heard it before, but the two of you have heard it before of Lolth, and you seem to be somewhere in the demon web pits.
Well, I guess.
Tinderbox or a torch? Can we...
Yeah, I mean, I have a Zippo lighter.
Okay, can you just give us a little illumination? Are we still standing together, or are we still kind
Yeah,
of?
technically, if you move Chomp, just with everybody else here, you come into this place just standing in a group. And as you bring out your Zippo and
Oh no!
the flame comes up, and suddenly you can see all around you a large room. Like this little bit of light suddenly just casts dim light onto everything around you, and just this huge cube of a room. webs everywhere.
Great.
Things wrapped up in webs in many places, some small, some almost impossibly large. Eyes shining, looking back at you from almost every direction. And directly in front of you, the
Oh.
So many cats are ridiculous.
the spider form of the goddess of lies and spiders, love. I do actually, as she says, once again to you. You said you wanted to polymorph.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can't cast spells after.
What?
Oh yeah, you need hit points.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Mhm.
yeah. Well, first I'm gonna say because I was gonna say that. What did he say? I no longer
Yeah.
care what you think of me, and I'm not beholden to you anymore, Loth. And I'm a polymorph.
Okay, what are you going to polymorph into?
You're not my real mom.
A what?
You're not my real mom.
Yeah.
As you start to transform, she says, "Oh, but that really doesn't matter, does it?"
It doesn't.
Oh,
She's right.
yes, it matters. It matters real lot.
You going the usual or?
I guess I will go as a. Yeah.
T-Rex?
Yeah. I mean, it's either gonna be like a T-Rex or the mammoth or giant ape. I mean, I guess.
I mean, T-Rex is classic, but your choice.
Yeah, I'll be a T-Rex.
Yeah.
As you finish saying that last part, the last part is like distorting into a roar as your T-Rex form just. Everybody roll initiative one more time. We're gonna do this. As
I got it.
all you hear around you is the skittering of legs and the roar of
18.
I got a nat 20.
Your
Makes
friend.
it a 22.
I got a 10.
I have to re-rage again.
Yeah, you can rate a bunch.
you got a
No.
10, chump.
I got a 10.
Crumb, up at the top of the order, this monstrosity in front of you with a larger than should be dark elven form on top of this huge black widow's body as she's stalking towards you.
Yeah. I'm
Just
gonna
legs going everywhere.
rage
Mm-hmm.
and run at her. I think I can get there. Can I? Do you think I can reach her? Yeah, I can reach her. Yeah, I got like
Yeah.
big long legs.
Turn on
I got
your boots or something.
no that waste time. That's like action or something. So yeah, I'm gonna run at her with my indicator.
Yes.
It's called. And
Indicator.
indicator, and I'm gonna slash that bitch and say, "Leave my buddy alone." Does a 18 hit?
No. It does
No.
not
Okay,
hit.
then my 17 doesn't hit.
No, as you
Well,
it's like you hit, but she's just blocking them with her kind of smaller front legs.
Well played.
She just as she does. Gosh. She makes, you know, she just says, "Don't," and she's going to do something real fun here.
yay! Bring it.
Because she just saw him do it. she can.
What
One
did you
thing
do?
about gods, they can do things like cast spells as legendary actions.
Mmm.
Could you make a
Who, me?
yes? Make a wisdom saving throw.
And I get like I have advantage on saving throws against spells cast within 5 feet of me.
And this is
I hope this will help though. What kind of save?
wisdom, not your worst.
Plus 2. 11.
11 was the better one.
Yep.
As you rush at her and she just says, "Don't," and she
Aw.
just gestures with one of her human hands, and you feel your body start to shrink in on itself, and your
Oh,
arms
no.
kind of come in, and you drop down onto the ground, and you are a box turtle.
Oh, cool. I mean, aw.
You are just a little, like, handful size box turtle, and you're just like,
What am I thinking? Am I thinking like a box turtle?
I mean, you're
Yeah.
polymorphed. I mean, you have your own thoughts, but your
Okay.
intelligence is even lower. It's like a 2 intelligence or a 1
She has
intelligence.
human hands in there.
Yeah, I mean, she's got
Her-
a torso.
She's also
Okay,
she's
I see.
carrying like a sword, and she's
Yeah.
got like a human torso from the waist up that rises out. As you, I don't have any meaning for that, but that's what you are.
Turtle.
You are a turtle.
I ain't got no worries.
I mean, she's concentrating now. Lysander, you are up as you see this entity you've only ever heard of.
Let me introduce you.
Vicious mockery.
Richard Law.
You're the
Beef bar for a beef bar.
She's
vicious mockery.
Yeah.
Go. for
16
it.
wisdom.
16 wisdom. And plus, what is your wisdom on? Yeah, it's a 26. So she just like you see
So I don't think it does anything.
here in the Beamweb pits, you actually see the magical effect more than you would as it reacts with the air around it, and she just kind of bats it away with her sword
Also, try to move.
away.
I would like to make a melee attack as a turtle. I want to headbutt her.
Do bonus action.
Okay, roll for your
Me too.
exit turtle.
18.
18. Okay, good to know. With that, Lol is up. She
Oh, by the way, my vicious mockery is like that form makes your ass look big.
Yes.
and she just like I
She's
know.
like,
She's like
I like that.
I know I'm amazing. Sorry, I'm just looking around. And she's just going to cast. Yeah, why not? She's gonna cast a firebolt. In Chomp's direction
Good, fine. I love fireballs.
as she starts to charge towards you and basically like just over you. A firebolt at you, and firebolt is.
I need to get that close. She loves you.
Mm-hmm.
She does. Let's see. Range spell attack. Yeah, it's like a 30 something for her range spell attack. So that gets
That'll hit.
Okay. You're a T-Rex. You have hit points.
Mhm.
Are you dead?
32 points of fire damage.
Raging as a box turtle.
You are raging. You are an angry box turtle right now.
It's like Mitch McConnell.
So
I'm Mitch McConnell.
you were like, what? Yeah, when you said what kind of thoughts?
I want
Yeah, when you were like, what kind of thoughts do I have? I was like,
Am I really enough?
really, really ghoulish, like horrible things.
All right, and then she's going to make two of her claws rake out, and you also get hit by them.
Okay.
So just one second. Let's be honest, they're both gonna hit. 18 plus 18 and 18 plus 4. Yeah.
Yep.
You take first one is 18 damage, and then the second one is 16 damage. Slashing both of them.
Cool.
So you're hit by the fire, and then as she closes on you, across your T-Rex self.
Fine.
And it's your turn.
So, do I need to roll for concentration
Yes.
to maintain my
does
polymorphs?
Isn't she concentrating on me?
She will have to if I hit her, maybe.
Yeah. If she gets hit, she will, but you have to roll 3 times.
Oh, it's every time I take damage?
Yep.
Damn. Do you need another? What do you?
No, I mean, not here, but
Well, I'll say this: you can either do 3 times, or your DC is you can do 1 time, but the DC is going to be half the damage you just took, which is a pretty high DC. It's up to you.
I mean,
Like it would almost be impossible to do the 1.
okay,
So
so
go
then
do
I'll
one.
do,
Do the 3.
I'll do the 3, and I don't
Are you gonna do it in
remember
the thing?
what the concentration roll is.
You just have to beat 10.
You need to add Constitution to the roll or something.
So you're doing this to see if you can
save,
stay a T-Rex
Yeah.
or not? Oh no. So like if you're not, then that second hit hits you. You take damages, chomp. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just wondering.
Yeah, you make okay. It is a Constitution saving throw. That's right. It's a con saving throw.
And
DC 10.
Okay.
the Warcaster thing, whatever. It's just like
Do
an
you have
advantage,
con of a
right?
T-Rex or
Yeah.
a con of a Chomsky?
Yeah. What do I roll with T-Rex's
Yeah.
con?
Because you currently have.
Because that's not. That's
Okay.
really weird. That would make. So T-Rex's con is J. Way better.
Who would have thought it?
I figured it would be.
Oh, no.
Okay, so
If it wasn't, it'd be like, gnomes are
Gotta be
tougher
kidding
than
me.
fire.
Oh man.
that's a 9.
Shit.
Okay.
So I guess I don't need to roll any more of them.
Good job.
Yeah, as your T-Rex form fades
Dead.
in front of you and her claw attacks hit, how many hit points did you have left?
Oh yeah, I'm 4.
Yeah, so you go down unconscious.
Oh no, I'm a box turtle, but I'm coming really slowly.
And then as the second one hits you, you automatically fail 1 save.
Oh no.
What did you get hit by?
That fire? That
No.
dragon?
As that round of combat ends,
So I have 1 death.
We
I
don't
have
have
1
our
failure.
you have one automatically have 1 failure. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But as that round of combat ends, you all
Blink.
see her raise up a hand and light starts to form in it like she's about to cast some big spell, and as it does, you all, same time to shield your eyes, blink. And you hear the same voice in your head say, and you all come back, and you are sitting in the hut. Chomp is bloody and unconscious next to the fire. You all are kind of scraped up, still wet. There's still a little bit of smoke coming off of two of you from the dragon that only happened like 60 seconds ago.
Damn.
Um,
That was intense.
or maybe like 80
Yeah.
seconds ago. As you are here in the hut once again, and the individual sitting there, they take a deep breath.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They take the card back from you, put it back in the deck, shuffle, and as they are, it disappears with their hands, and they say, "That
Later,
is
Yeah. True. Can you help my buddy?
Oh yes, of course. It's a handout.
Thank you.
Just kind of a. And you come back to life
Woo. That was fun.
with 17 hit points. And with that, we're going to end tonight.
Cool.
With you sitting around the fire with them.
Them.
We're going to call them
They. Them. Mysterious rock.
Mysterious Frog. And that's going to be our thing tonight.
That was fun.
So yeah. They can explain next time maybe what they think
Yeah.
happens.
We deserve that.
But we'll find out. I mean, this might be a taste of things that will come. This might be a what if scenario. This could be lots of things like that. I hate this one.
Oh, I got it.
All right.
Okay.